Good morning. It is about 10:30 now. I went to bed at 6:30 this morning, and that's kind of how this goes. Um, I check on your strong friends today. Check on your friends who present well. There is a special thing for us. We don't show up at our doctor's appointments at the mental health facilities. We don't show up in tattered clothes. We are not a problem to the front desk or security. We are not in tears. We sit in the waiting room quietly, and a lot of times doctors confuse that with she or he does not need as much help, and that's not true. I'm that person. Um, and I get I have gotten from my doctors, you're strong, you know, and you don't know how strong I am. You don't know what it took for me to keep this appointment today, right? And speaking, of doctors and checking on your strong friends, check on them all the way through, because it's one thing to say, to see your friends a little sketchy, to see that their posts on social media are a little bit off, and, to comment or DM them, you need to get help or you need to get therapy. That's not as easy as one, two, three, especially if you don't already have a doctor, if you are not already in working with a mental health facility. How do when you are kind of far gone, and sometimes you don't know that you are, but when you are, and you are the strong friend, and you are the one who is always helping somebody else, it's hard to ask for help with the simple things or the seemingly simple things like making an appointment. It seems simple enough, but in that a certain space, it's not simple. It's not easy, and I'll put myself in it. I can get frustrated at the smallest thing. The receptionist with the bad attitude, I'm done. You know what? It's not that serious. Um, yeah, the submitting forms for me, I'm done. I'm out of here. Um, and so, and your friends don't know that you need that kind of hand holding, but when you're in a certain space, you do. Uh, and so you might have to say that. And even once you have help, once you have therapy or gotten to, your mental health facility, it's not done. You still have to see if you and your doctor or doctors are a match. Because if you're not, it's easy to just decide, you know what, this whole get help thing is not for me. My first psychiatrist, I forgot her name, um, but she was this really small and very thin German woman. And we were so far from being a match. It's crazy. I don't know what her thing was. Maybe it wasn't her thing. Maybe it was my thing. Our thing together wasn't happening. Okay. And I wanted to just really give up. And I remember I would go in her office, and every time I stepped into her office, she would say, "Step on the scale." Like, what in the... So she would weigh me every time, which to me, you're doing too much and you don't do this to everybody, and stop it. And there was always this mad, disappointed look on her face. Like, I could not lose enough weight. And and so after I step on the scale, I would sit at her desk, and I mean sit in front of her desk, and she would go through this whole diet thing with me, and she would always do this thing where she would like body like rub her hands against along her body, alongside her body. Like, for me, I don't eat bread, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. And I would be sitting there seething like, bitch, ooh, body roll again and see don't not jump across this desk and fuck you up. Like, that's all I would be thinking. And it just got really, really bad. And all her like, I felt shaming me, was doing nothing for my mental health, was doing nothing for my diet. When I left her office, all I wanted was a deep fried Snickers. Okay, and I don't even eat deep fried Snickers. Um, but or do they sell deep fried Snickers? But it just wasn't a match. And because I had someone, a really good sister friend, who had me just not give up, had me just, okay, all the psychiatrists are not going to do that. They're not all going to be that. And I really needed her to talk me off of the, you know what, I will just pray about it. How about that? Ledge. And so she sat with me while I called the facility to get another doctor. And I got another doctor assigned to me, and she was magnificent as a human being. And I do remember her name. Her name was Dr. Broadhead. And I loved that woman. She was so gentle with me and so easy, and I never stepped on the scale. But I needed, so all this, I needed that kind of hand holding. And your friends might too. So check on them, and don't tell them how strong they are. We don't want to hear that. Don't tell them they got this, because the truth is, one, they might don't got this. Not this. And they don't feel like they got this. And telling them that they're strong and that they got this sounds dismissive. Sounds, I don't need, we hear, I don't need to walk you through every step, because you got it, and I'm out. So, but get help though. So just check on them. Just check, and check on them through every step today.